Aquarius, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's get started and see what messages we have for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions for the week ahead. Now, keep in mind that these are general readings and may not resonate for everyone. So make sure to check out your other placements because you could have messages in those readings as well. All right, my friends, let's get started for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. What is the energy around the week ahead for Aquarius? Ooh, that danced around a little bit. Let's see what that was in a second. Treasure Island coming out. A leg up. What's on the bottom here? Deep Knowing. Okay, Deep Knowing is coming through in the reverse. Community. Ooh, Between Two Worlds. Okay, Aquarius, let's have a look here for you. So it seems as if you are moving between worlds right now, Aquarius. You could be shifting into a new timeline. I love seeing that. That card always makes me think about transitions, that even though you might not see that you're transitioning from one thing to another, you are. Seeing it in reverse tells me to be mindful of your expectations. So really being cautious about your expectations, because this is not a time of guarantees. Things, as you're transitioning from one thing to another, things might not go exactly as you plan or dictate. You might not have any control over how things go. So as you're transitioning here, it's important for you to let go and see what happens. Don't have too many expectations. Expectations are a pretty quick way to lead to disappointments. And that can sort of just like slow down your momentum as you're just moving into a new cycle here. And so really just being open is the key when you see this card in reverse. It's not a time to sort of plan or to have expectations and high hopes of certain things happening in a certain way. No, this is a time of being like, I wonder where this is going, and feeling excited and curious and open. Excited, curious, and open to see what will take hold in your path ahead, because it could be better than you can even imagine. So seeing the leg up card here also in reverse tells me that you are receiving support as you move through this, and it's almost divinely guided. This idea of the leg up card tells me that you're sort of being supported in unexpected ways, but you have to sort of let go of this idea of doing things on your own. This is an interesting time of sort of releasing that idea that you can't let anyone help you, and that it's not okay to be vulnerable, and that you have to do it all by yourself in order to understand something. No, I think that right now you might be actually quite amazed at, if you can release your expectations, how quickly help will arrive to give you this leg up. And so these two cards are very interesting to see next to each other, both in reverse. And I think that they're leading you to this treasure island. So you've got to let go of your expectations, release those, ask for help when you need support. There's nothing wrong with being vulnerable here. And to just be open, right? To be curious and open, and to receive help as it arrives when you let go of control and expectations. I think you'll actually be surprised at how things sort of unfold in a way that seems effortless once you're able to just be open to receiving. Now, the reason I said the Treasure Island card was interesting to see here is because this card is really about the law of attraction and sort of bringing your dreams into fruition. And, the best way to do that is to continue to have that positive thinking in your mindset, where you trust that things are always moving and shifting in ways that can be very unexpected, and that from here you can see that sometimes things appear from nowhere, like this idea of things just happening, without us having to control and hang on and dictate how it happens. By being in a certain frequency, you'll start to attract things that are in a similar frequency. So if you can be curious and optimistic and have this perspective that's very open and willing to see what happens, I feel like you're going to receive quite a bit of abundance here. It's almost like hitting the jackpot in some ways, like this unlimited potential will appear. And it feels like it's going to come through you by trusting your intuition and by being open and having no expectations, but being very open to all kinds of outcomes. Now, the other thing that's interesting, you have card 8 and 9 sitting right next to each other. And so that always fascinates me in a very well shuffled deck when that happens. Seeing the community card in reverse tells me that it's almost like a little bit of this guidance saying here, are you hiding behind something? Are you wearing a mask? Are you sort of, it's interesting, are you in a situation where you're standing tall in your authenticity, or are you sort of too afraid to be vulnerable? Right? Bringing it back to this card where I feel that vulnerability is an issue here. And so it's interesting. Standing tall and not hiding who you are will almost do the same thing that I was talking about here. It will attract more energy that's in alignment with you. So if you're wearing a mask and you're hiding and your heart is closed and you're trying to sort of control things, then you're going to attract more experiences like that. And I think that that's sort of where we're going here, is that you're being guided to be open, to be vulnerable, and to sort of be curious about what that will bring. And I feel like you will attract things that are unexpected and unknown to you, almost like you can't see where they're coming from, but there they are. And that it could also show you here that being authentic will always feel fulfilling. You know what I mean? And this willingness to be real and to really express yourself fully and openly, sort of stepping into like your heart, moving away from your head and moving from your head to your heart and just being open. Seeing the deep knowing card on the bottom of the deck tells me that, if this is resonating for you, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and that you're needing to like take that big idea of yours and do something with it. You know what I mean? Like, take one step towards, what's that saying? Take one step towards the gods and they will take 10 steps towards you. Does it go like that? That's sort of what I'm feeling here, is like you're moving towards a transformative moment here where you're sort of in control of it by inaction, in the sense of like you've got to shift your perspective, your perception of this, your openness, your vulnerability, and then this idea of just moving little baby steps towards your dreams, one step at a time, in the sense of like, don't spend too much time dreaming or talking. There's nothing wrong with visualizing, but eventually you're going to have to take a step towards it. And I feel like once you do take that step by being authentic and sort of expressing yourself vulnerably and openly, you're going to be amazed at what comes back to you through this law of attraction. It's a very interesting start to your reading, Aquarius. I got to say, really gave me some food for thought as well, of this idea of just standing tall in who you are and trusting without trying to control anything, but still taking inspired action as you towards what it is that you're dreaming of, whatever you're imagining. Very interesting. Oh my goodness, that was already 9 minutes explaining that. Sorry, that took a little bit of time. So yeah, there is something I think you're moving away from. Could be very nostalgic, could have a lot of emotional attachment, but I feel like you're almost ready to move away from that because I think you're hanging on to it for emotional attachment reasons, but it might not actually be authentically you anymore. You're deciding which direction to invest yourself, your time, your energy. And I think that's where we're between two worlds, where you're sort of like, oh my God, do I move forward away from this towards something new? Or do I stay invested in something that doesn't really feel authentic to me anymore? but I do feel an emotional attachment. There's the Fool in reverse. So you may have to take a leap of faith here. You may have to really trust that deep knowing. Again, that phrase, how does it go? Take one step towards the gods and they will take 10 steps towards you. I love that. I think that's exactly what's happening here for you, Aquarius, and it's up to you. It's up to you. There's the King of Pentacles in reverse and the Queen of Wands in reverse. So, you know, right now there may be some energies that are keeping your confidence low and guarded, and then a little bit like you sort of wearing that mask, like we said. Are you wearing a mask, or are you being authentic? Are you confident, or are you shrinking down? Are you standing tall, or are you shrinking down? I think we're seeing these two court cards to remind you that, you know, this new beginning is here. You just have to grab it and take steps towards it. And you don't have to try and control the how it's going to happen, but just taking inspired steps towards it, as opposed to sort of denying what you really desire and feeling small, you know, feeling like you can't stand tall in who you are. I think you're being guided to do just that, you know, and to take those steps towards that new path. And it's interesting, there's the Five of Wands, like you're leveling up. I think you're moving away from things that just feel like a clash of egos. You feel like where there's a lot of conflict, you don't want to be there. You don't want to be around a lot of conflict. I feel like you're ready to move away from stuff like that. You're ready to just sort of take that mask off, be authentic, and sort of release things that feel like a constant battle. I think you're done with that. There may have been a lot of battles with whatever was this nostalgic sort of emotional connection in the Six of Cups, but it's almost like you're ready to let go of anything that feels like competition, conflict, challenge. You know, you're just done. You're done with anything that feels aggressive in its nature, because you're really leveling up. And I feel like sometimes that idea of competition can sort of help push us, but I don't think that's what was happening here. I think here it was actually becoming unhealthy, and it was causing so much conflict for you that you were shrinking smaller and smaller and smaller. Instead of feeling like you could stand tall, it was almost like diminishing you. And so that was not helping. That clash of egos was slowing everything down. And it's like you decided, no, I'm going to choose to excel and collaborate where I can feel authentic. I'm taking the mask off and I'm just going to be myself, and I'm trusting where my intuition is guiding me to go rather quickly with this Eight of Wands. Very interesting. Okay, let's clarify some of these cards for you, Aquarius. You know, it's interesting. I feel like, I don't know, something could be... You know, you could be leaving something behind because you see it in a different way now. There's the Magician in reverse. Yeah, your energy needs to stay focused. Focus that energy on being authentic, because as above, so below. So whatever it is that you're carrying within you is going to be what you see evidence for most. And it'll be whatever that law of attraction, right? You have to be in resonance with what it is that you're trying to attract. And I feel all you need to do is just be yourself. Like, I don't think it's a tall order in the sense of you don't have to do anything but just be you. Just express yourself, be vulnerable, take the mask off, be who you are, you know, and trust. Yeah, stop sort of living a lie. Stop trying to fit into something that is not you know. That Seven of Swords is coming on the Seven of Pentacles. And so it's like, as you choose your path, choose the one that's true. Choose the one that feels like it's really you know, and take that leap of faith, trusting that the law of attraction will meet you, right? And again, Five of Wands, again, coming through now in the reverse, which says to me, again, like you're done with that scene. You don't want to get sucked into this clash of egos where there's this tendency for you to compare yourself to others, and then that again diminishes you. And it's like, I feel like you're done with that. I feel like you're done with that. You're ready to attract in a different way. You know, you're done attracting conflict through competition and comparison. It's just making you feel small and diminished, and it's not helping you be a magnet to attract what it is that you desire. There's the 10 of Cups, choosing emotional fulfillment. Oh, there's that 6 of Cups again. You know, it's so interesting. I think there's a part of you that really just feels like, oh, are you sure I can't go back to that other past experience? I think, you know, you've got this very rose-colored glasses perspective when you think about that time of your life. And I think that you might be remembering it in a way that feels less like a conflict and challenge. But, I mean, ultimately, it's up to you, Aquarius. This reading is guiding you to be authentic and to not be motivated by your fears, but to be excuse me, standing tall in who you are. And I'm slowly losing my voice. Excuse me. Yeah, you might need to keep your sword close to your chest. You know, this might not be the time to be overly daydreaming or overly talking about something. It's actually time to take inspired steps towards something. You don't have to announce it. You don't have to do anything. You just be you, focused on being authentic, removing the mask, not being motivated by fear, feeling like you can stand tall and take up space, as opposed to feeling like you need to sort of feel like you're not enough, or that somehow you can't be attracting the experiences and outcomes that you desire. I feel like you just need to take steps towards them being authentic. I think that's what this reading is guiding you towards, Aquarius. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining me for this reading. I hope it's been helpful. If it has resonated for you, please consider subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting. If you would like a personal reading, you can find that information in the description below. As always, I'm sending you so much love and light, my friends, and I look forward to reading for you again soon. Take care.